the right Wi-Fi today. Screwed it up yesterday. We're okay. Are we up? Testing Moshi. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Are we up? Yes, we're up. Okay, good. And the winner is color separations. Color separations. I better pop up the original here if I can find it. Just a second. Image source. Just a moment here, please. Add existing. New series number 2. Here we go. Okay, let's shrink it down. It's too big. Okay, our young carver Kawasaki-san over in Kobe has finished the key block work on the second print of the series. Where is it? I haven't even finished my work on the first print of the series, and she's finished her work on the key block of the second print. Can we get a, it's so dark. Here we go, it's a bit better. Are we focusing? So she's done the key block. You'll notice it doesn't have any lettering. We're going to do that separately with either a polymer plate or a laser plate. The key block's done. And after, of course, I have to prepare her color separations. There's going to be 5 of them. And looking at Jed's master over there, tiny screen, I've got to figure out what to do. I was going to be going back and forth with my close glasses, my faraway glasses, working with this. If I'd have had enough brains to think of it earlier, I would have printed this out. So I had a copy next to me here, but I didn't think of that. So anyway, let's go. I can't see. Actually, what you're seeing on the screen there is one of the very first Photoshop roughs that Jed sent me. So since then, he redrew it actually, so these lines are a little bit different than what you see in the image. And the color separation is going to be a bit different as well. I'm going to have to play with this as we go here. I know. But anyway, I've got to get started. This should have gone to Kawasaki-san, our carver. Should have gone yesterday, so she could start today, Monday morning. But I didn't get it done. There we go, question in the box. Actually, what I should do too, what I remember, when I got to the computer the other day, I found a bunch of questions on my machine that weren't in the question box. So I think there's a bunch of people that don't quite get the, I say rules, I'm sorry to be rules, but I know, it's to name. Here we are. The word question has to be in the subject line, and as people have been putting questions, a whole bunch of them, I missed many questions over the last few days. Where are we? Question box. Hey. Question colors. The RGB prints. So he's asking what's going to be the general rule on the RGB prints. I know what Jed and I are proposing, because we're really trying to keep the price down. I think we've pretty much decided it's going to be $25 a month for this. And because of that price, obviously it's going to just mean, is that her body or is that just a moment here. Because of that, of course, we have to limit the technical level of the prints. So there's no way we can do 10 colors each for that price. So what I've told Jed to do is I'm going to budget 3 pieces of wood for each print. 3 pieces of wood. So whatever we can get on 3 pieces of wood, which means 1 key block, of course, and then a maximum of 5 color blocks, or whatever we're going to double up. So if an area is just small, we can maybe get 2 colors on 1 face. But the point being, it's going to be 3 pieces of wood. So that means probably 1 key block plus 5 colors. That doesn't mean there's only going to be 5 colors in a print, it's 5 printing colors. And of course, they overlap, they double up. So we should be able to make some interesting stuff, even with that limitation in place. Purple, that was easy. Excuse me, gang, sorry. Next one. Oh, look at this. Focus, focus, focus. Come on, camera, do your job. What's going on here? We've got too much of an angle. If I lift it up and have it point down. Okay, sorry about this. Hang on a second. I'll try and get it worked out. Is that going to do it? It's coming at a better angle now. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Sorry about this. Sorry about that. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, next one is the base tone for the clothing on the girl and the guy. And I think that'll be also the base tone under the armor as well, I think. Let's do that. Actually, that's going to be this one. This is the base tone for the girl and the guy. Might need a bit of explanation. I was trying something different last night. Jed asked for these squiggles and stuff around the outside, and he had put them with the base tone. So I tried. I did a Photoshop printout of the squiggles and put them with the base tone, and it doesn't work with the gray. So I'm going to try something different this morning. I'm going to use a Photoshop printout for the gray. Whenever we use Photoshop printouts, we're never sure that they're the same size as what we printed from the block. Because every time you use one of these laser machines, it shrinks things down in different formats and different sizes. They're really not as predictable as you think they are. So we can't just take a laser printout from Jed's Photoshop file, carve it, and expect it to fit. And we'll find out now. In fact, we'll see exactly. I'll try and match this up. And almost certainly it's not going to match up, even though it's taken on the same photocopy machine at the same enlargement. They're just not predictable day by day. And it isn't. It's not the same size. No, it's not even close. That's not going to work. So what we have to do here is... what we're going to have to do here is do this in 2 stages. So we'll do the solid areas first. Trim out these wiggles after the solid area is carved. And then simply paste these other things down in the appropriate areas. Just like this. This is perhaps confusing what's going on here, stuff like this, these squiggles and these lines and these things on the color blocks, these would all normally be drawn by the designer. After we've got the key block finished, There's the key. The designer would then sit down with these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The designer would take his brush and he would color in the areas that we want the carvers to color. We don't have the ability to do that because Jed's over there in America and we're sitting here. And also Jed sometimes can't work at such a small scale. He works at a larger scale on his computer screen. So it's very, very difficult to transfer these ideas that he wants, these wiggles and squiggles and blob, blob, blobs all over the place. Because as I said, we can't just print out his Photoshop thing and paste it here because it doesn't fit anymore. So it's become a huge problem for us. We have to end up doing it like this, cutting and pasting little pieces of his design on top of the printout that we make from the actual blocks, because that's the real registration. The real registration is not what's in his Photoshop file. The real registration is the wood itself. And how we combine that with his Photoshop data is difficult. People are thinking that whatever using these computers and stuff is making our work easier. It's actually making it much more difficult in this particular case. We really need Jed to be here and sit here and draw these, but it's just not possible. So it's probably a bit confusing to see, but what she will carve for this block, this is going to be a gray tone. It has these squiggles on, which she will see and be able to carve, and she's going to carve these zones that are marked in yellow. Then after she's finished that, we'll come back and we'll put in the different types of brush stroke scratching that Jed wants on these gray zones. So I'm sorry for the confusion. It's a bit difficult to understand and communicate to you what's going on here. There's two. There's the gray, there's the purple. This is the background tone for their clothes, which I thought was going to have those squiggles. So I'll take those off here now that I've changed my mind. We do need her face, the eyes. Where's the eyes coming out? Okay, the rest should be easy. What have we got left? What's left? Out of focus again? What? I guess as I move, I'll try and keep watching it, guys. Sorry. Alright, and the next is the skin tone. And the skin tone there's two more, the skin tone and hair tone. I think they should be pretty straightforward. The skin will also go under the hair. And then on top of this, the hair. Does this look like the print? His arm, okay. Hi, thanks. I thought it was closed, eh? Keep me on this, okay, guys? Keep me on this. Nothing down here. It's become a game, hasn't it? Catch Dave before he screws up. It's really become a game. Okay, you might be wondering, some of this thing just doesn't seem to be making sense. I know the purple and the purple here look the same. What Jed has called for, which isn't showing in this example. Let's try and pop up another example. He's changed his mind about what we're trying to do here. Instead of wanting flat colors in between the lines, which is what you're seeing here, he wants a bit more of a washed effect. So let me try and show you an example of where this is actually going to be going. Find another image here. It's in my downloads file. I think he sent it to me yesterday. Here we are. It's going to be too big. I'll try and swap this in a second. Okay, see what's happening here now then. The original idea had been for block flat ukiyo-e colors. Oh, it's focusing again. No, we don't need that right now. Let's look at the picture. The original idea had been for flat ukiyo-e colors, the one on the left here. And the idea came later on to make them into a bit more of a watercolor wash type thing, where they're not actually fitting the outlines all over the place. But it's causing huge problems for us to try and get the color separations made. Because as I said before, I can't just print out from Jed's Photoshop because they don't match the carved lines on the block anymore. So I'm going to try with our carver in Kobe to do this in 2 stages. She's going to carve first this purple one right to the outlines, because that's the only information she has. Then once she's finished this block, then either she or I will try and adjust it. We will trim back around the purple outlines to try and make it match more like what Jed is doing here. We really don't know how it's going to work out, but so let's see if this works. Oh, focus. Fuck this thing, come on. Let's go up more and shoot down more. If there's any first-time owners on our stream here, they'll be thinking this is actual chaos. I'm sorry. The stream is not usually so chaotic. I'm sorry. Is that focused now? Yeah, I get it here. There is no manual focus on this thing. I've tried to find it. I can't. What it does is there's different ways of setting the focus to focus on this point or that point or 10 points or whatever. And it's having trouble because this thing's at an angle. I'll try and work on it later, I'm sorry. Anyway, it seems to be okay at the moment. I am losing my voice. It's going. I've got this cough, this cold. It's been here since Jed donated it to us a few weeks ago. I should just be quiet and get back to carving. Anyway, just to try and wrap up what I'm doing here. So what we're seeing in these color separations is a first stage towards the image you see on the right hand side. We're going to carve the purple up to the lines. We're going to carve the gray. Which one's the gray here? We're going to carve it up to the lines. And then after that's done, trim it back to try and get the effect that he wants here. So am I okay? Skin tone is just going to be skin tone and under the hair. Hair is just going to be the hair, nothing else. Although on Jed's left image, he wants this on the robot, on the armor as well. Let's do that, and let's put her hair into the armor as well. Okay, here we go. So gray, main zones that will be trimmed back later, all the little highlight scratches. Here, that'll be trimmed back later to give highlights. This is the real skin tone. This is the hair. No, that's the gray one. This is the hair color, so it's also going on the robot. This is the background tone under all the people and clothing. And this is the purple armor. Alright, I think we're good to go. Let's paste these down. Last chance to find mistakes. Now the usual challenge, trying to decide which piece of wood goes with which color. And the rule, if you remember, people have watched this before, the ones that have the widest areas of background color need the cleanest blocks. So looking at the wood we have here, let me get those pictures out of the way. Get the pictures out of the way. Right. Now the question is, because it's a different size, why can't you print the Photoshop stuff out on the paper to be pasted on the block? Because it's a different size. I know what we had it sounds like it should work, but it doesn't. I know we had an original from Jed, from the Photoshop file. I printed it on one of these sheets like this from his Photoshop, pasted it on the wood, and we carved it. So it went from Jed's Photoshop file through a laser printer, onto the thin paper, and down on the block. And laser printers aren't accurate. I always thought they were, but it's not. If you try a test, if you make a Photoshop grid of square boxes, 10 by 10, 20 by 20, whatever, in Photoshop, perfectly accurate. Take it to a laser printer, print it out, you will see that almost certainly it's no longer square, it's not 10 by 10, because printed pixels don't equal Photoshop pixels. It just doesn't work like that. So there's a transformation from Jed's original, transforms through a printer onto this block and is then carved. So this no longer matches the original Photoshop file. It doesn't matter. This becomes the new original. This is the woodblock print. But it means that I can't take Jed's Photoshop data for a color block, print it out the same way and go down, because it never ends up being in the same place. So to do our color separations, this is the new master. And these lines here you see I've printed from here. So these match the new master perfectly. But they don't match Jed's Photoshop data anymore. It just doesn't work. We've tried again and again and again over the years. It just doesn't work. So to do color separations, the important thing is to match the new master. First, cut these blocks like this, and then adjust them to include Jed's Photoshop data. In a place like this, where they don't touch each other, I can paste his Photoshop data here, and it doesn't matter if it's a semi-millimeter off, because it's just a squiggle in the background. But for that thing where I'm going to carve lines in the middle of her hair, different story. So I carve a base tone first, and then when the wood is clear, the shape is clear, we'll put the Photoshop data on top. Sorry about the confusion. It really, really, really is a confusing thing. But anyway, let's get back to work here. Step one, the block with the most colors, most open flat color space. This one. I see confusion. Yes, I feel confusion today. It's a confused day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's zoom in a bit. Both should have the same distortion, but they don't. They just don't. At the sub-millimeter scale that we're working at, they just don't end up with the same distortion. I'm sorry. Looks good. Clean areas of color, clean areas of wood. This sheet will match this block. So finally, let's get some work done here. There's a tap noise coming. If some of you are wearing headphones, I'm going to be making a sharp bang here for a second. With our friend here. 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to watch this focus at the same time as I'm working. test run. Seems good. Okay, we've got a corner mark and a line. There's our registration marks. We just cut them in not a random place, but we cut them in a place. It didn't matter where we cut them. The registration for the print now gets decided by me putting this paper in, because I printed this the other day on the key block, click, click, perfectly in the corner. So now when I paste this down on here, that's how the registration gets transferred. Moisten first so the dry block doesn't soak up all the glue. Is it focusing, struggling? Too wet, no, too much glue. Dave, too much glue. Yeah, look at that, way too much glue. Oh, it's all those cuts I made in the back side too. Tell you what, we'll leave that one till it dries. So all those cuts in the back side have peeled off. So okay, we'll leave that one till it dries, then peel it off. Moving along. Here's another one. This needs a good flat color. Goes here. Looking good. Do it again. It's going to be one of those days, you know, I can just see it already. It's going to be one of those days. Here we go, another bang coming up. Let's try and change the mood here. 2 bangs, extra one for you. So, I tell you, the last few days in the shop, you know, it's just been freaking insane. I don't know what, I say this every day recently, but I know. It's sort of getting now beyond a joke, actually. I know, beyond a joke. People are friendly. They're wonderful. I'm really happy to have them coming here. Nothing negative about it. But at the end of the day, you know, I just stagger out of this place. I don't get out of this place, but lock the door. And I don't know where we're going. It's just becoming, I know. I don't know. For those of you like who have been with us for a long time, our life changed just so dramatically last June when YouTube changed their algorithm. For those of you who don't know what happened, it's June 26th. Something changed in YouTube. And instead of 200 viewers a day, which was our average up to there, we jumped to 20,000 a day. It happened on June 26th, just like overnight, literally overnight. And it's tapered off a bit now. We're down to about 10 or 12,000 per day, every day. And it's created a flood of interest in our work and a flood of visitors to this shop and a flood of orders on our website that has just overwhelmed us. And then on top of this, the streaming that I started a couple of months ago, not really sort of thinking much about it, has brought in another huge group of people interested in our work and talking to us and meeting us. And now we're staggering, just literally staggering under this, with the print parties every day, the orders. And we're running out of prints left and right. We don't have enough people to make prints. And I just sort of don't know what to do anymore now. The rate we're going, the website basically will be empty. I mean, day by day I switch off stuff on the website. This one's no longer available. This one's reprinting. We don't have this anymore. Just day by day, every day, I turn at least one or two of them off because we're out of stock on them. We can't hire new printers. There are no such things. You've seen me, I've switched to not only being a carver and not only being a manager here, I now do printing. I've printed the background on all the owls that have gone out of here. I did another 60 yesterday. This one should work cleanly because there's no cutting on the yellow. Watch, let's have it come off. Find the edge here. Straight off. That's the way it's supposed to work. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to work. The classical transfer technique. Pull off some of the paper on the back. Ding, ding, ding. Bells are touching here. So here, that's the classical technique. As you can see now to carve what's going on here. And as I mentioned, it's a two-stage process because of what Jed has asked for this design. We'll carve, this will be the purple armor, we'll carve it to the edges of the lines first because this is the only way we can see that data by doing these transfers. We'll carve it to the edges of the lines first. Then after she's finished the first stage carving and cleared away the excess, we'll nibble away to try and create those rim lights and stuff that Jed wants here. Okay, that's one done, clean. We'll forget about that one for a minute here. Let's get another piece of wood, move along. We got 3 more. Sorry to be ignoring what's happening here. I can't, I can't keep track of this. Octopus, don't ask me about the octopus. Is there a YouTube video? Don't ask me about YouTube. This one should be easy too. There's a few you'll see as we get it pasted out. We'll have to cut from the back. Some of this is double layer now. How's the focus? Coming okay? Okay, the usual tap warning. Tap, no, can't see. Usual tap warning for the headphone viewers. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, 2. I heard a question beep. Just a second. Let me get this done first. Hang on a moment. There was a real funny episode, I know, yesterday in the shop. An old time customer came in. So he's number 3 in our customer database. You know, when people order prints, we put him into our, you know, into our software system, of course, to be able to send the prints out. And he's number 3 in there. So he's been around and buying my prints for a long time. Very nice guy too. Him and his wife were subscribers back in like 2006 or somewhere around there. And he dropped in yesterday. And he hadn't been in touch with the Twitch thing. He hasn't been watching this Twitch part of our lives, so he didn't know about it. So I pulled up the website, showed it to him yesterday while we were standing chatting in the shop. And I showed him the what's it called, the Acolyte page, the you know, other page that you guys have made. And we scroll down that, and he's like, "What's going on? All these people are making prints?" Because when you scroll down that page now, all you can see is people who are making prints, carving and printing, and not printing yet, but carving and carving and carving. And he's like, sort of like, "What's going on here?" You know. And I said, "It's these crazy guys who are watching Twitch, and they're all, not all, a good number of them are trying their own printmaking. It's just so much fun, so much fun." But then what happened was something really cool. I scrolled down the page to the part where we see that image of the young girl sitting in water. I forget the name of the person who has posted on the page there, who made a copy of that print already. And as you know already, we've got a few people. This Camilo Madness has made one, and I don't remember the names. 2 people on that web page there have made one. And then another person over on Facebook, Fred Main in Paris, has made his version of that print. Anyway, this gentleman yesterday, who has been collecting my prints for years and years and years, and who I didn't know was trying to make prints himself, said, "Oh, I tried making that one." So this is the 4th person now that I know here who has tried to make a reproduction of that same image, the young girl sitting in the water. There's obviously really something about it that just catches people's, what's the word? Catches people's interest, and it's really attractive. So this makes me think more and more that idea that I tossed out into the stream the other day, that I should make a version myself and do it live. It's only 2 blocks. It's a background block and it's a black block for her hair. And the original was postcard size, about the same size as the print you're seeing here. And I think 2 blocks without too much detail, postcard size, I can do that in one stream. And if I get some paper prepared in advance, I could, without probably too much stress there, I could probably make that print. It's not pulling off here. I could probably make that print in a Twitch session. It's the same problem. Now I got this double. Okay, here we go. Got away with it, I think. Didn't want to separate in one place there. It's not cut at all, I see. Oh, there's questions. Okay, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to keep that in my mind. So here's one of those. This is a combination then, this one. What have we got? It's a combination. These lines you see here are printed from my key block. So they're absolutely exactly accurate. So the color blocks that she'll carve here are going to be accurate. They're carved within my carved key lines. Then the other stuff here, this is pasted on from Jed's Photoshop file. And just to reiterate, I couldn't paste the whole thing, including these gray color zones from Jed's Photoshop file, because there's no way that it would match exactly the edges of these carved lines. There's just no way. I've tried and tried and tried over the years and have long ago given up. So there we go. What do we got left? We have 2 blocks left, one for the skin and one for the hair. Let me get to the question box. Question box is here. It's a sort of generic question. Have I ever started a carving and had to stop because it wasn't suitable for carving? I'm not quite sure what you mean. I know. Just a minute here, excuse me. And I'm not quite sure about the question. Have I ever started a carving and had to stop because it wasn't suitable? I know, we're not sort of beginners, so whenever a new job is going on, we can see from the beginning, I think, whether we're going to be able to do it or not. There's really no doubt anymore. When I work with Jed, for one thing, he sends the image, I look at it. We know we can do it, or we know we can't do it. There's a couple of prints on his website and web things that he wants us to make that I've said, I'm sorry, I can't really do that in a practical way. It might be too delicate, or there's too much detail in one area, or things like this. So we filter this stuff long before it gets to the point of starting carving. Okay, I've got 2, where are the other back side? Okay, back side of this, so back side of the key block. They both look good. So one more time, let's do this again. This is going to be the hair and armor highlight block. It's going to go here. I don't see any problems. The wood looks clear and clean. Let's just do this one more time. Okay, again, headphone warning. There's going to be a tap here. 3, 2, 1. Also news. I found out yesterday, I've got an alert set up on Google Alerts. You can set things up so that it notifies you when certain keywords and phrases come up on websites and stuff. And I have an alert set, of course, for the ukiyo-e heroes, so when we can see when people write reviews or whatever goes on. And I got one yesterday. The alert came in from Hulu. And it turns out that, actually I don't need to drop it in. There's a page on the Hulu website which announces and lets you know the schedule changes, what's coming up on Hulu and what's leaving Hulu and stuff like that. And it turns out our documentary, the documentary about us, that's called The Art of the Game, is coming onto Hulu on December the 30th. Now, the web page that this shows, it seemed to be pretty much American-based. I don't know if Hulu is international or what. But anyway, if you're a Hulu subscriber or viewer, our documentary is coming up on December the 30th. And if you go to their website for the page that shows this, new stuff coming up, we're in there. There's a whole bunch of movies listed, Rocky 4, Rocky 6, Rocky whatever, and this and that, and this and that, and Wonder Woman and something, and then The Art of the Game, Ukiyo-e Heroes. Starting on December 30th at a Hulu near you. I have no idea how long it's for. 1 day, a month, 2 months, I haven't any idea. Let me find the link here, just a second. I shouldn't get too distracted here, just a moment. Here we are, new this month on hulu.com. I'll paste it in here. Bingo. And actually they spelled the word heroes wrong, so it may not come up if you're searching for it. But if you scroll down that page to December 30th, you'll see we're in there. And I myself, I've only seen that documentary once at the screening at the film festival in Toronto. The guy who made it won't give me a copy. Like, let me see my documentary. He's like, well, no, it's not been released on DVD yet. I'm like, whatever, you can't give me a dub? And he's like, no. I don't know what he's scared of. Like, I'm going to put it in the internet or something? Probably. That's what he's scared of. At this point, do you not want new collectors of your prints? What we, because I was talking before about selling out. So the focus of our manufacturing here right now, we're set up to make subscription prints still. So there's no problem for us about subscriptions. We've got 2 girls working upstairs, not full-time, but they work X days a week, printing our subscription prints. So that part of it, the one I'm making now, for example, and the last year's series, the yokai prints and the old portraits prints, we're totally okay with those. We're running full steam ahead. We're fine with all of our subscription prints. We're looking good for next year. We have the manpower, lady power in place to make them. So we would like lots and lots of subscriptions for next year. That's not a problem. The Ukiyo-e Heroes prints, the main prints like from the last Kickstarter campaign stuff, that's also scheduled and planned. No problem there. Of the 6 new prints in the Kickstarter campaign, 3 of them, the carving is already finished. Number 4, it's underway. And number 5 and 6 are scheduled to start, as they're going to come up. We have the printing crew in place to do this, because I booked this long time ago. Yamamoto-san and Kubota-san, 2 printers who used to work for Adachi, who now have their own workshop. They've been doing the work for us for the Great Wave and various of our independent prints. They just came back with a batch of the new rickshaw cart, the Mario Kart prints. So they're okay. So we're okay on the Ukiyo-e Heroes. We've made this a priority. We've booked the talent to do that. Where we are not okay is in all of the prints that I myself made over the years, which we have been printing and putting into our shop. These are now dropping like flies. They're disappearing from the shop, and we don't have people upstairs to be able to print them. So I should be careful what I say when our business is in trouble, blah, 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 blah. We're okay. For heroes, we're okay. For subscriptions, we're okay. It's everything else. Are we going to focus again? Internet Pirate Dave Bull. Noted Internet Pirate Dave Bull. Is that how I go down in history? I don't know. Yay, very nice. It's not my own documentary. I have no rights in it. I have no ownership of it. I don't get money for it. It's actually nothing to do with me at this point. I just agreed to sit down in front of a camera while they did stuff. And what happens to it after that is no concern of mine legally or morally or anything. I have no rights in it. We're interested in it, obviously, but it's not my documentary in any way, shape, or form. Okay, that one's done as well. Good. She's going to have some work to do here. Moving along. Last one here. We're totally okay for time, right? Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, they should give me a copy, I think. He just doesn't trust me, I think. I don't know, whatever. They're not friendly people, actually. He talks all the time. Whenever we talk on Skype, he's all about like wheels and deals. And I got a deal coming, and I got a deal cooking. Can't tell you about it and all that stuff. It's classic sort of Hollywood type. It's almost like a parody. When I talk to this guy, he doesn't have some big cigar and stuff like that. But other than that, the way he talks, it's just like a parody of Hollywood deals. Okay, here we go. For the last time this morning, 1 tap for the headphone wearers. 3, 2, 1. Looks good. You're hearing that comment then about are we okay? And we are okay. I wasn't trying to cry the blues. Just, my God, I don't know what to do about getting printers, you know. All the printers I know, I've been asking them, do you know about people who were working years ago but then who quit because it was not so good or something, you know, whatever. Trying to find some sort of person like that, you know. We've networked and networked and networked all over the place. Just cannot find anybody. One of the young guys here working as a print party host, young Koto-san, he's been here 3 months now, doing okay in the print party because he speaks English pretty well. He has seen this situation. He's seen what the printers upstairs are getting paid, and he says, I can do this. Can you train me as a printer? And I'm like, well, no, I'm sorry. I don't have the wherewithal to start somebody from zero at this point. It'll take you 3 years to come online, and during that 3 years, I have no idea whether you're going to get good at this or not. And he's like, oh, no, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. So we've told him, you know, okay, show me. After you're finished at 5:30, you finish your print body work, you can either go home, as you've been doing up to now, or you can go upstairs on your own time. There's workbenches up there, there's paper up there, there's blocks up there. Show me. So that's what he's trying to do. He's been, last night he was up there for 3 or 4 hours. He knows the bare rudiments of this because he's been doing print body hosting. So he knows the bare rudiments of making paper moist and printing. And let's see, maybe he'll show me, who knows. Dave, am I going to the con? No, of course not. I'm totally tied to this building here. But Jed is coming. Jed will be at the con himself in person. Last year he sent a representative. That was Cameron. This year he's coming himself. He'll be flying in, I guess, on the Thursday, I suppose, Thursday morning. I'm going out to set up at the con. The con, I believe, is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I've heard 2 things about it this year. He said they were really eager to get him over here. They gave him a special deal and whatever and blah, 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 blah. But I've also heard that they are clamping down at that con on derivative works. They didn't say piracy. They said derivative works. And Jed's both. He's here by special request at the con, and he's also, quote, derivative works. So I don't know. They're going to put him on the front row or the back row. But I won't be going, but Jed will be. So it's possible that during the next week or so, he will be here on this stream. You know, he's coming in Thursday afternoon. He won't be here Friday because that's the con itself. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's probably going to sleep on his booth or something, or take a hotel out there at the convention center. And then maybe Monday, I don't know. He's probably flying back home Monday. So it's a possibility Monday morning stream might have a guest, special guest. No promises because I have no idea what his schedule is. So it could be that the convention people, you know, there's 2 hands, left hand and right hand. The left hand has invited him, and the right hand is going to say, you can't do that. I've got no idea. Okay, there's a set of blocks for the stage 1 carving. It doesn't have it's just got the bare outlines of each color. Let's have a recap here. What have we got? That's going to be the skin tone, which goes onto the hair. A question, I get that. That's the key block. Excuse me. This is going to be gray. It's got the little outline splashes all over the place in the background, and it's got a base tone on parts of the kimono and on the hair, which will be cut back later just to print highlights on top of the hair. So we'll cut it back after we've done the first stage carving. On the back side of that, this is the hair tone So. This was gray, which is highlights on top of the hair. This is the actual brown hair itself, which probably will sit there as a block. And it also covers part of the armor. Then we've got the purple lilac block, whatever, which will be carved first stage within the lines. Then after that's finished, we will then manipulate it and cut back within the lines to try and give the rim light effect that Jed wants. Then now this is dry. I should maybe have a look at what's under here. I may have to redo this. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to come off in pieces and patches. But let's get to the question. Oh, Jed's here. Jed forgot I'm staying the Wednesday night. Jed, and if you're coming in Wednesday night, what's your schedule? Are you out at the con on Thursday morning, or what is your schedule then? I will be on Dave. Oh, he's here. He's putting it. Okay, I'll catch up later then. I will be on Dave's Twitch stream at his shop in Tokyo. You can stream on Thursday. Okay, there you are. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here babbling, and I'm way out of date. I'm not sure what the question means. He's asking a question about the printing of the Heroes prints. I complained about no printers, but who's going to print the Heroes prints? I'm not quite sure what you're asking here. I don't know. The printing staff we have here upstairs are all people that came to us over the past 5 years. And are part of the original Kickstarter campaign, years and years ago with Jed, when Nuclear Heroes started. It paid the salary of all those people. It was Ayumi-san, Ishikawa-san, people that became our printers. So yes, they're still here, so we're okay for that part of the work. So I'm not trying to do. I better keep quiet when I do this. You know, just. Yeah, we're working. I was just taking it off too soon before. It's fine. Now that it's drier, it's okay. Totally okay. It looks like a mess, but it's all right. Just let me get this off and explain. Okay, there we go. So this is the block that it'll do the background tone on the clothing and under the face and under the armor. And it'll stay mostly the same as this. It won't be cut with those rim lights and stuff like that. It'll just be the base tone. And the reason we had to paste in some Photoshop data is because the eyes and mouth have to be transferred. There's small circles around her eyes. Okay, there we are. Jed, I don't know how long you've been here. How much have you seen of this? We've got finally, I think, got the color separation worked out here. We have to do it in 2 stages. Whatever. Here we go. Okay, there's the block set, ready for sending to our carver in Kobe. We'll pack it up and send it to her this afternoon. It was supposed to go yesterday. I didn't make it. She's sitting twiddling her thumbs today. It's okay. Okay, that's out of the way. Now, let's get to some other work. And the other work is the still unfinished key block for the first print in the series. What have we got? It's after 9 o'clock. I've got some time. I haven't finished cutting out this sword yet, so I think I can, what I should do, let's see. Yeah, let's pull in so we can try and get this focus thing worked out. Let's try it this way. If I focus there, is this thing going to focus? What do you think? It's going to hold focus? Somebody's asking, Dave, did I glue back the horizontal Kento? No, not yet. I haven't had a chance to get to this block, so I don't know. You can tell the story. All right, in the time left from this morning session here, I'm going to be cleaning up. You can see the line carving is done. The wide clearing is done. The mistakes are done. And I'm going to clean up now a bit of this part between these two so that I can do my own color transfers. I haven't had a chance to do mine yet. Okay, Dave, be quiet and do some work. What a scrappy stream it's been today. I'm sorry, guys, you know. I was late getting started, running to the photocopy shop to get that stuff made. Let's just try and get some peaceful work for the last session here, the last section of the session here. Crunch, crunch, lovely sound. Question there, just a sec though. Let me just sit for a minute with this. Are we focusing okay? Is it alright?
see what the question was here.
Someone's asking about hiring a new carver. You know, are we looking to hire carvers, or what would we look for? Or, you know, I'm not sure what to say here. I really don't want to try and get people's hopes up. We're not, you know, we're short of staff. That's the base situation. But over and above that, we get asked fairly frequently by people living overseas, can they come and work for us? And it's a very, very difficult situation. You know, to live and work in Japan, you need permission. We can't give you that permission. We're a really tiny outfit. We're not like Toyota or something who can just bring in the engineers or whatever that they want. Getting into Japan is difficult, and we have no way to pull strings and pull levers and offer visas and stuff to be able to do that. So it's an insurmountable problem just on the face of it, getting permission to stay here and to work here. Then over and above that, the next level of difficulty is that many people think they like Japan and they love it when they're traveling here and it's a wonderful place and all that sort of things. But for many, many Westerners, living here on a long-term basis doesn't turn out to be quite as much fun as they expected. Most people, and this is the experience, most Westerners who come here to try staying here to do something end up leaving within a few months or a year or 3 years or whatever. They hit their barrier and they leave. It's really quite unusual what I've done to end up staying here for many, 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 many years. There's not 1 in 1,000 or so that end up doing this. And I have to recognize this reality when I'm looking at the idea of hiring a Westerner here. Investing the time and energy and getting them trained and doing all this sort of thing. And how long are they going to stay? Because the odds are that they're not going to stay. So this leaves me in a position where I can't sort of make an open offer. Hi everybody, if you'd like to do this, come over here, we'll train you and you'll work for us. You know, it's almost a mission impossible. So I don't want to sort of be too negative about it, but the plain fact is I'm not in a position to offer jobs and or visas and or work training to everybody who would like to do it. You know, it's a huge, huge endeavor to have a foreigner come in and work for us here. You know. If you've been watching during the past year or so, you know that many times there's people who are here as tourists, you know, people who have made woodblock prints, and I've said, sure, come up and work here in the workshop for a few weeks. John Amos came. He was here for 5 weeks this year, not as my employee, but as, you know, sort of practicing here and watching here and semi-training here and doing that sort of thing. But I didn't sponsor him. He was here on his own right as a tourist going home soon, you know. So the question of can I hire you as a carver, it's just, I don't see any route for that to happen. You know. We're trying it with that young man, the young boy from Hong Kong, Chon-san. He came here as a tourist, what was it now, 3 years ago? He brought those blocks that he'd carved for the Hatsune Miku print. Glorious work. So he'd already trained himself at a hugely competent level already. And now he's working for us. We've just simply hired him to do these these carving on the Ukiyo Heroes prints. You know. And he has no residence permit. He comes here as a tourist for 3 months. When it runs out, he goes back to Hong Kong, turns around, comes back in. And I have to pay him under the table because I'm not allowed to hire him because he's only a tourist. So I shouldn't say this online, should I? Be careful. Not sure who that is. It's way too late for Cameron. I thought he was going to be off today. It's too early for Kawai-san. Oh, it's 9:21. It's probably Kawai-san. Or Doi-san. They're the staff today. It's going to be a full party day today. It's the Monday crew as usual. Me, Doi-san, and Kawai-san. And we're scheduled right the way through. It's chain-smoking print parties. Yeah, it must be Kawai-san. He's putting the flag up. So it's almost my time to leave. Okay, sorry, I know. I'm really, really sorry for the chaotic mood in recent streams. I know. It's partly a reflection of just what's happening here these days. I know. I can't say we're losing control, but my God, it's just chaotic. There's no other word for it. So as we move now into December with the tourist season behind us, and then the gift season is going to be finishing up in a couple of weeks, things should start to settle down. Good morning, Kawai-san. Hello. Hello. So it's all I can sort of really hope for. Things are going to settle down now over the next few weeks into December and then into January, which is traditionally a really, really slow season for us. Doi-san, good morning. Hello. And too, once I get the new subscription series up and running on its own legs, which is still in preparation. So. Dave leaving in cuffs. It isn't me that would leave in cuffs, it's him. And once he gets a black mark on his visa, that's on his passport, that's it. So we really do have to be careful with that stuff, Hi, good morning, Aya-san. Hello, hello. デマあったんですが、申し訳ない。本当に誰からちょっと知らなかったんで。
私もわからないんで、またかかってくるの待って
ごめん。多分材木とか、ちょっとわからない。そうでしょうね、きっとね。本当に昨日のカオスの中に、プリントパーティーの間、客さんが多かったんですけど、もしもしとか、どちら、聞こえなかったんですか。申し訳ないです。終わってからでも番号を
私の携帯番号も伝えてるんで、かけてくれてよかったんですけど、
ね。多分今日、電話来るから、私、一応、月曜日もう一回電話お願いします。
わかりました。今日お昼からレンタカー借りてトイレに行くんですね。
はいはい。
で、3時半4時ぐらいかな。に到着すると思うんで、それで運ぶの。
大丈夫です。ちょっと大丈夫です。
どうやって保管するかを考えないといけないですね。まあ、テルさん、それ終わったら後で。
OK、はい、Thank you。はい、まだストリームですね。ごめんなさい、ちょっと。This is Aoyama-san coming through, and one of the things in the conversation I showed you a few weeks ago, there was a little video about some little pieces of wood, pieces of cherry wood. We decided to buy 2 of them, I mentioned at that time. Anyway, they're coming today, or they're not coming today. He's having to go and pick them up today. So, okay, I'll catch the stream here later. So there we are. Okay, as I said, apologies again for the chaos. Whatever. Today's Monday. There will be no stream tomorrow. I'll be in the Ome workshop tomorrow, fixing the gas heater, which has broken down. If you hear an explosion, it'll all be over. No, we're calling the gas company. We're meeting them there. We're going to do the installation of a new heater. The gas company's going to do their part, playing with the hoses and stuff. We don't fool around with that kind of stuff. But I've got to go there myself to receive the installation. So that's tomorrow. Wednesday I'll be back here. And I guess as far as I can see right now, Wednesday's stream will, I guess, be probably finishing up this block or maybe doing the color transfers for this print, the one that I just did for the second print in the series. I'm not sure. It's 2 days away and I can't possibly see that far. Thanks again for your patience with us, for the chaos that's happening around here right now. And I've got to get back to the shop ready for the 10 o'clock print party. See you in a couple of days. Thank you again. Step 1, camera off. Step 2, unplug my hot mic. And step 3, shut down the stream. Bye bye guys, thank you very much.